with people. How are you today? Answer.
Great.
Give yourself a round of applause. Because we have all gathered here today to celebrate Conservative Television of America. Now, in over 60 years, the state of Georgia has not had a broadcast system that will allow us to be true conservatives. This is a problem. Some of us have started to give up. We felt like our fight has been in vain. Some of us are starting to wake up. Some of us want to get involved. And to all of you, I would like to say welcome to Conservative Television of America. We have a great night outlined for us tonight. And I want you guys to remember this throughout tonight's outline for us. There is nothing you cannot do when you have the power of God behind you. There is no place you can't go, God willing, without His guidance, His Holy Spirit. And when it says in the Bible that our gathering together should not be forsaken, He meant that. That's why it's so important for all of us here tonight to be here, gathered together, to continue to support and stand for something so great that God has put His stamp on. There are people who are under attack. There are people who say so much about us and our conservatism. And I want to let you know that it's not over. The fight, the battle is not over until God says that it is. And right now, there's a war. And there's only a war between good and bad. And thank you for being a part of the good side. I'm Sandy Blooms. I'm here with Claude and Kevin. And they have asked me to host their show, The New Republican Party. They say, the New Republican Party? And Claude has this joke, he says, well, are you not a part of the New Republican Party? Absolutely. But I do want to say this, there is not a divide within our party whatsoever. We are conservative. What one person, what a few people are dealing with, we stand behind our party, but we stand behind God. So as long as these persons are standing behind God and God says that these persons are of Him, then who are we to get in between that? As I stated, I am Sandy Blooms. I host the New Republican Party. And what I stand for is conservatism here in Georgia and making sure that the people who are conservative have an outlet and they have some support within our community, and a safe haven is what we call it. I appreciate you all for giving me the time to speak, and I will be introducing Kevin.
Thank you, everybody. Yes, I'm Kevin Elwood. I'm the Director of Development and Affiliate Relations at CTA. I'm very proud to be here, and it's been about a year and a half since I joined Claude. We met each other at the Faith and Freedom Coalition conference in Orlando a year ago, this past summer, and we were lucky to get a great seat facing the stage, and Claude and a friend had they were looking for a seat somewhere to sit, and we said, my wife Marty said, hey, why don't you sit at our table, that we have some open seats, and they sat down, and but they had their back to the stage. So Marty said, why don't you come sit over on this side and face the stage with us? So that's what they did, and it was really awesome because it gave us a wonderful opportunity to talk and get to know one another. And in talking with Claude, I learned his background as a television producer and owner of television network in Florida, and I told him my background in franchising, and he's, we kind of, the bells started ringing because he was telling me that he has this vision to set up a TV network called Conservative Television of America, although at that time the name was not yet solidified, but the vision has been there all along, and me and Marty were just blown away by his vision. It fit everything that we believe in, and he said that he was going to be moving to Georgia to set it up, and I said, oh, well, that's where we're from, Atlanta. And so basically it ended with, I said, give me a call when you get to Atlanta. And sure enough, he did. And so basically then for the last year and a half, we've been working together to develop it. We've brought on programming. We brought, well, Claude will tell you more about, what he's done. But it's just really been kind of a dream. It's a dream I never knew I had. But when it materialized in front of me, I'm like, this is a good purpose for me in life. It coincides with my political leanings, my faith, and just everything about the conservative movement is so moving and personal, and there's passion in all of it. And the voices that we bring to CTA are those voices of diversity, and we've got quite a lineup in our programming already. But so I'm working with Claude on the development side, and also in terms of the affiliates, and that's one of the things that we're celebrating today. And I'll let Claude talk more about that. But here we are. We're launching the 4 here in Atlanta and in Georgia, but my goal as the developer will be to open to every affiliate market that is in the Nielsen markets, which are over 200 what they call DMAs, designated market areas. So with franchising as my background, that's what I bring to the table, and show how we bring the standard. The CTA will be the standard. We already have the model. We have the structure in place, and it'll be already there for the local affiliates, but then they will have their ability to customize a few hours per day. So there's a lot of opportunity here in terms of development, because it being such a local market areas, such as Savannah and Macon, we can approach every restaurateur, every dental office, every insurance agent and say, would you like to be on TV? We can do it for you very affordably. So each affiliate market is going to have its, its profitability. It's going to have its return on investment, which is going to be quite good, because the overhead is not really very much. We've already got our media networks in place to help us sell, and we will expand that nationally. But basically nothing's paid until someone buys a contract. Somebody signs a contract, they pay the money, then a commission's paid to somebody. So there's not a lot of capital outlay on these operations. And then there's customization for local shows, and we can help with that as well. Like being here in Atlanta, we can, if we have somebody, well, you already saw, Cassandra has her show, the New Republican Party. That is a CTA production, and that will be produced here in the studio under the auspices of the Rich Hart Global Studios, of which we are a tenant in this facility. But we will be able to help shows in Macon, Savannah, wherever they are. We will be able to find, partners in production. We'll have studios that we can will follow our template for quality control, and then of course we will make sure that everything, even on the local level, will fit into our greater theme of CTA, Conservative Television of America, which is basically an America First agenda. So I would just like to say we have a few notable people. Of course, you're all notable in one way or another, but there's a few people that have come to us, from some, fantastic organizations, and later there'll be a Q&A time. Maybe some of you can ask questions and introduce yourselves as well. But we have Angie Allison from the America Project is here tonight. We have Willie and Crystal Jones from the Apostolic Conservatives Show. We have Stan and Donna from Veterans for America First. We have Juan Garcia with the Juan Garcia Show, and we have Javid Ona with the Right to Life Georgia, and then we have a gentleman named Bentley Fortune, who is a musician and quite an influencer, and so we're very proud to have every one of you here today, and all of you from each of your areas of expertise and your support of the conservative movement. So at this moment, I would just like to thank you for coming, and I would like to introduce the founder of CTA, Claude Mancuso.
Good evening. The important thing that I want to know, how's the food? Because my mother made it. She wanted me.
Let's give it up for mom, huh? Let's give it up for mom and that food.
She doesn't believe in caterers, and so she has so much joy doing that. And so, if you don't like it, don't say a word. But I know you will, because no one has ever said they didn't like her cooking. Speaking of my mother, which of course is the reason why I'm here, because it wouldn't have happened if she was not around. But we were in South Florida on Hollywood Beach when the supposed election happened in 2020. And I had recently become a conservative because didn't really care that much about politics, was mostly voting Democrat until Hillary appeared. And being that I had been connected and lived on and off in Haiti for 35 years, 33 years, I know what the Clintons did to Haiti. It's a very scary, scary proposition. And at that point I said, there's no way I would ever turn. And I got serious about politics. Prior to doing that, I was involved in television production, of course in Haiti. And in Miami launched in 1988, the first Creole language Haitian television station. And I'm still doing that. In fact, it's my Haitian station that has financed CTA. So you could say my black station has financed my racist station. But we all know we are all racist because we're conservatives. Automatically we are racist. So of course my mixed children are not happy to hear that their dad is a racist, obviously. So this is the narratives that we have to fight through the fact that we're divided by color, we're divided by ridiculousness. So when I saw what happened and I saw that all conservatives' voices were being shut down, from Twitter to this to Facebook to anything, I said no. It's not the America that my parents brought me here when I was 12 years old from Europe. This is not what I went through. This is not freedom of speech. This is not the country that I remember. And I started to say, well, I can do something about this, because communication to me, unless I'm willing to take a weapon and go shoot, I don't shoot. I don't know anything about weapons. My weapon is television. Communication is my weapon. And so I said, well, maybe I know I can create a channel. Because if you can create a Creole language channel where there's no content, practically, for a niche market of 300,000, I can take the conservative market where there's a lot more programming available, and my new niche is 120 million people. I like that niche. I can make that work. I made the other one work, and they make much money, but I know this is different. And it's a business opportunity. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is a business opportunity. Fox News has 2 million viewers, maybe, per day, maybe. CNN, 700,000 to 800,000. That's why they sold it and they're revamping it. But it's too late, CNN. We know who you are.
Oh, yes.
But they have 2 million viewers per day. They grossed $1.3 billion last year. So where's the other 118 million that are not watching conservative news? Because if only 2 million a day are on the average watching Fox News, don't you think there's room for more conservative channels? Aren't there a lot of people that stop watching Fox? They don't even trust them? So I'm not worried about the business part of this. It's basically, I had to convince my mom to leave Hollywood Beach and come to Atlanta, because Florida is controlled by the Cuban Americans. Republican money is controlled by the Caribbean Americans. You can't get any kind of funding major for anything that you want to do in politics unless you're part of that group. And I'm not. I'm 100% Sicilian. I have a French name. I don't fall in any category in Florida, really. So, and I own a Haitian TV station, you know? And my color is peach. So nothing works. Nothing works. But I have friends here. I knew that this is a battleground state. And 2 years ago, they spent $500 million to get 2 idiots to Congress. And that money came from beyond Georgia. So I said, well, you know, if I'm gonna go where the war is, this is where the war is happening, I'm coming here. Take my chances. And she said, you wanna go to Georgia? I said, yes. But you're on the beach here, and I can't leave you. She said, no, I'm ready to go. You know, just make sure you put me in a house, because I'm done with condos. I've been there for 40 years. You put me in a house, I'll go with you. And I do all the cooking at the events. I said, okay, you got it. You're here. And so we came in about, actually January of last year. So, I don't know, 18, 19 months. And we started building little by little. And with lots of help from different people, we would go to different conferences, gather some of the programming. Because television is about content. You know, content is king. And so, it's amazing the amount of good content that's out there that you may not see on Fox or anywhere else, but they're there. And so that was phase 1, gathering the content. And then we hooked up through somebody. We found Terry Gilbert. Terry Gilbert, which you've seen the show called Timeline with Terry on our channel. Unfortunately, she couldn't be here. She just had surgery. She just had hip surgery, so it just happened right at this weekend, but I would have brought her in. She's in our Washington studio, and much smaller than this, but believe me, being that it's in Washington, we get some really heavyweights there. And she's a conservative who's a professional, and just decided to stop working for the medias that were woke. She was decided to stop. Her husband was working, he's a professor. She was willing to just stop working as a professional journalist. She just couldn't fall into that and said no. And then someone put her in contact with me, and she said, so what kind of show do you want to do? I said, well, you know our name. She said, I love that. I said, second of all, I want to do an hour show, just like Nightline used to be, where we don't just take a soundbite for 3 minutes and solve the problem or fix the world's issues in a 3-minute soundbite. We need to get into the subject and really explain it. And she says, I love that. I said, that's it? She said, okay, I'm in. I said, but I don't have much money now. You gonna make money later? I said, yeah, pay me later. And she started. And I think that we might have already 65 shows in the can. And if you go to Video on Demand, you can see some of them, and they're amazing. People talking about the vaccines, the Ukraine. I mean, all the subjects that we are discussing, because you're going to be listening to experts. So we have Terry's show. We picked up several interesting shows as we went to these conventions and found people, and we researched. In fact, what I'm going to do is take a 5-minute pause to show you just some of the people that have decided to send a video for tonight. So if my technician is ready, watch this, and I'll be back.